of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, welcome everybody to our board meeting. Let's get started by asking if I could get a motion to approve the village board meeting minutes from January 2nd, 2020.
Moved.
Second.
Questions, changes? All in favor? Aye. Opposed?
I
Carried.
guess I abstained.
Mike abstains, because he wasn't here. Citizen comments, seeing nobody here? I'm assuming we have no comments then. Trustees' comments, we'll start with Mark.
Well, hope you're feeling better, Mike. Glad to see you back here. And I'll stick with the agenda other than that. Thank you.
Agenda's fine for me.
When I find it, I'm going to stick to the agenda.
Megan?
Just the agenda.
Mike?
I do apologize for missing the last meeting. I would like to take a second to tell Chuck and Steve, who's not here tonight, how much I appreciate the response time for being up underneath the bridge by the cottage.
Microphone, don't you?
Oh, I need a microphone? Okay. A couple months ago, I grabbed Steve after a meeting because I had heard from a couple of people in the village of how much graffiti and paint and vulgarity, which was right there in the public's viewing, underneath the bridge by the cottage, and it might have been noon the next day, and it was painted over, and I got a lot of response appreciating that happened. A couple weeks back, I had breakfast at the cottage, which, for those of you who know me, I could eat breakfast for lunch, dinner, and breakfast. And somebody had a field day breaking glass bottles under the bridge. And again, everybody who walked out of the cottage was concerned, and it was a safety issue. I took pictures. I sent it to the mayor because I didn't have Steve's number. Again, that was a Sunday, and by noon on Monday, every piece of glass was cleaned up. So I guess two things. One, I want to make sure that the DPW knows that people in the community do appreciate that. And secondly, put it out there that if somebody in the community does see something like that, obviously the DPW is very responsive. A simple phone call to Village Hall and they'll take care of you. So thank you.
Thanks, Mike. Glad you're feeling better. Andy?
All set. Agenda items on. Thanks.
Just a couple things. We did have a meeting here Monday to discuss parking issues. It was a nice turnout. About 30 people, I think, were here. Steve D'Arcangelo ran the meeting. Mike Lefenchuk and I were here to assist him if he needed anything. I think everybody was in agreement when we got done that there is plenty of parking in the village. Not always right at the door of the building you want to go in, but there is parking. We need to do better with signage, and we are going to work on trying to create a couple more spots in the lot out here. This is our lot, our village lot, where our employees park, and we have more employees than we had before, which means there's less parking spots for the general public. And we understand that people want to go to the bank, people want to go to the dress shop. There are some apartments back here, they need parking. So we are aware of a little bit of a concern in that area, so we're going to look at the possibility of creating a spot or two more. There's not a lot we can do back here, but we did try to point out to people the availability of parking on Charlotte Street, River Street parking lot in front of the Red Mill Inn, down at the square, and really for people who are here to do business, that's not that big a walk. So appreciate the people who did show up, because we had a nice cross-section of people and a lot of opinions, and that everybody was very respectful. It went very nice. And then I guess there was a meeting Tuesday night at Mohegan Manor, more about business and marketing and that type of stuff, although parking, I think, was going to be part of it. I don't really know much about what happened at that meeting. But, you know, it's good for people to talk about stuff if there's an issue. So And the other thing I'd like to mention is Steve is not here tonight. His mom passed away, and services are Saturday, and he was heading down today. And just thoughts and prayers to him and the family. It was a tough time. His mom was 92, and not an easy thing to deal with. So that's all I have. We'll move on to our attorney.
I'll stick with the agenda.
Thanks, Bob, and thanks for coming in early tonight.
Yeah.
Appreciate meeting with you. Codes Officer Greg.
I'll stick with the agenda.
Okay. Welcome to your first live under the gun meeting, Jody. Anything from the clerk's office?
I'll stick with the agenda.
All right. Treasurer?
Just to remind everyone, they should have received their December financials. Please look them over. We're getting towards the end of the year. Check your department figures, and if you see anything that doesn't look right, ask for a printout, or if you have any questions, please let me know right away. Other than that, I'm good.
Thanks, Anna. Say hi to Bob Edgett on the camera tonight. Haven't seen you in a while, Bob. Move over to the other side of the room. Senior Center, Ruth?
Well, tonight gives me a chance to mention that we seem to be in winter now. So please, when it's inclement weather, use your own best judgment about staying home or whether to drive and that kind of thing. The Senior Center does not close unless the village closes, so we will be open. But please use your best judgment for your own safety when you're thinking about the weather. Also, it's a good time to get into a wellness program. I just want to remind folks that if your New Year's resolution slid a little, it's time to look at that again and come on in. And we have several different wellness programs, so come on by the Senior Center and find the one that fits you. And that's it.
Very good. Next up, you know, I always think, Chuck, when you show up, like when Johnny Carson would go on vacation, they bring in, like Bill Cosby would be the guy or something. Look, we just get treated every time you come.
And Mike wasn't even talking to me today, so I was paying attention. Yeah.
Is that microphone on?
Yeah.
Okay. We have Chuck McAuliffe here representing the DPW.
We just have a few things with the highway. It's been a busy few weeks. We've got most all the Christmas decorations down. The tree, most everything at the square. We left the snowflakes up. They like to leave those up until after this weekend with the big chill. And seemingly we haven't been plowing so much. They've got a lot of different things done. We had one of the old trucks, I think it was my truck 2 trucks ago, that the body was falling right off, and it was just, we were gonna get rid of it, but seeming now with the school moving and the fuel, it's a long way for our loaders to go. So we took that truck, and the guys built a bed on the back of it, a flatbed, and we got a 100-gallon fuel tank, put it on that, and we're gonna use that truck. They did a great job on it, and they're gonna use that truck to fuel the loaders, because it's just too far to go for the loaders, go way up there. That truck came out great. I can't see much here. Tree's gone. They're tub grinding today. The tub grinding was in. That thing's all set. We're gonna be starting on the village hall door. Actually, they started the other day on that. Hopefully in a week or so, that'll be taken care of. The dam lights, we adjusted the dam lights a little bit. There was, and I think the ones on the mill side drifted down a little bit. We brought some of them up. We're trying to angle them a little better. It's hard to angle those because when they come up, then it goes in the houses over on River Street, and they don't like it. And the old lights had sides on them. These don't. So we are trying to angle them a little bit and get them a little better. Corey Perkins is, we have to program these lights by the minute. And he's pretty good with the computer, and he's been programming those. And so we're trying to change them a little bit and trying to bring them up and get those to work a little bit more. On the water side, with the weather being good, this last week we had 4 houses. We had to shut the water off on 2 of the houses. One of them we had to dig up, and then 3 of them for demo. And we got that taken care of this week. So when they demo a house, we have to dig the water service up and discontinue it. We got that taken care of. Corey Perkins and Matt Brown both finished their 2B water certification. It's quite a big deal. It's a tough class to get through. And after they had passed their final, then the county comes out and sits them through a 4-hour test. And the two, I was pretty excited, I'm proud of both of them. So they got that, they both have the certification that I have now, and that was quite an accomplishment for the two of them. I talked to them during the class a little bit, and I asked them, I said, how's it going? Because I remember it when I took it a lot of years ago, and said one of their homework assignments was to read 100 pages a night for the week. You know, it's pretty intense. But the two of them got through it, and we're glad. So I just wanted to bring that up. And that's all, unless there's questions.
I have a question. Could you tell us if we were able to get any meters installed in the last 2 weeks?
Yep, we've been doing meters every day.
Because we had asked Steve to try and give us an update on meter installation, that's why I'm asking.
Okay, well, our friend Jody, actually, we've sent notices out and we're trying to get the south side done. And it's just, that's a more difficult side just because a lot of the meters are older. I have to send 2 people to a lot of them because they have to shut the water off to get it done. And some are difficult to get in, but Jody's been chasing them down, and as they call her, she makes the appointment, and we're getting them in. And it's kind of tough getting them in, but we are, because they just sprinkle them here. There'll be 2 here and 1 here, so we have to stop what we're doing to get them in. But we are getting them in, and actually, I think Steve has a list of, or Louise has a list of what's getting in, and Jody does. And they're probably averaging maybe 3 or 4 a day. Depending on the days. Today, I don't think we did any, but as they come in, now it's just a matter of getting in the houses.
Great.
And that's kind of tough.
Thank you.
I think we got 19 of them over that we've been trying to get into for a very long time. It's going to come down to red tags. You know, we'll just, once we put the red tag on the door, they let us in. You know, but there's like 19 in that one section. They just, you know, we've left tags 3 or 4 times. Jody's calling them. The guys went through again and left 30 tags the other day, and out of 30 tags, we've probably got 6 or 10 phone calls. You know, so once we get to that, you'll probably be getting phone calls about it, but it gets us in.
Well, that's good.
But we are working on them too. Actually, that's kind of the priority. We pretty much stop what we're doing and get those in if we can.
Good to hear. Thanks, Chuck.
Yep.
Thanks for stopping in to see us.
Yeah.
I got a quick question. With that wind event we had this weekend,
Yes.
did that impact the village at all, or were those all private trees? And
I don't believe we had any of ours. The guys went around, we went around and just went through the village and picked, there's a lot of limbs and stuff down. The 2 big ones were not our trees.
okay, that was the one on Seneca and
The
the
Seneca
one
Street,
on-
right. We did go over there. Yeah, the Phillips Street, we really didn't have much to do with that one, but the Seneca Street we did because it was, the tree was out in the road over the sidewalk, and there's some issues with getting the tree on the homeowner side out of the way, so we brought it back to the other side of the right-of-way and stopped. And because I don't think that was gonna get taken care of right away. So we did that, and since then, they've got some help, and they've got up there a little more, but that was quite a deal. I've never seen a tree, that kind of got picked up and moved. You know, it was a huge tree, and we went back as far as we could. I was afraid if we kept cutting it back a little bit, it was gonna roll into the house. I mean, it's just huge. But other than that, really not too much.
We're actually pretty lucky.
We really were, yep.
Those were 2 huge trees, too.
Oh, they were, yeah, yep. Oh, well, I've got some good pictures, well, I'm sure Mike's got them too. They got good pictures of them. I mean, the tree root was probably 10 feet high, and there's no hole behind the tree. I mean, the whole thing got picked up and moved over, and it's sitting on a driveway. It was pretty devastating, and I can't imagine that. I talked to the gentleman who owns the house, and he told me about his daughter being in the shower there, and coming, I just can't imagine that, you know, coming out and your front of your house is gone.
Yeah.
Because it ripped the front.
Well, look, as Mike Lockwood said when he called me to tell me about him, he said it looks like a dollhouse.
Right.
Because you can see the bed and the dresser, and nothing looked like it was disturbed. The front of the house just came off.
It did, and I mean, the main beams come right off the top. The main beam with a big dowel, wooden dowel on it, was right on the front lawn.
That house had been there a couple years.
Yeah, I guess it has. But, no, other than that, we just went through, and we're doing Christmas trees now, too. We've been through 3 or 4 times with Christmas trees. Other than that, it really wasn't, I figured we didn't even have any power outages. None of the plants went out, you know, we're fortunate with it.
Very good. Thanks, Chuck.
Yep.
Move on to the police department. Chief?
Chuck took all my allocated time, so I'll stick to the agenda, man.
You know, when they do it in the Senate, you have to yield some of your time first,
I
right?
didn't yield, he just took
He
it.
just took it. All right, nothing under pending business. Under new business, can I get a motion to authorize Chief Levencheck to attend the International Association of Chiefs of Police Annual Mid-Year Divisional Training Conference to be held in Denver, Colorado from March 24th to March 27th, 2020, at a cost not to exceed $750, and this is a budgeted item.
I'll move that.
Second.
Any questions?
International.
Oh, yeah, he doesn't mess with that little slow. He's all the way up there with the international. Pretty nice. I just think it's always great that we're represented in that kind of stuff, you know.
Yeah, and actually, state chiefs are paying half the cost of that.
So you'll be able to eat.
Yes. Find something,
I always worry about that kind of
so
stuff.
I appreciate it.
All right, we have a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Carried. Can I get a motion to pay bills as audited?
Moved.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Carried. Before we adjourn, is there anything else that anybody needs to bring up? Any other business we need to discuss?
Can I ask the attorney a question?
Sure.
Because it came up in a, what is the village's liability for a street tree in terms of a branch falling onto a vehicle parked on private property?
Well, it would have to be some sort of negligence that the village, if the tree is in the village right of way, something that the village did by being made aware of the fact that it's, that there was a problem and didn't do anything about it, or if the village cut it by mistake. But it's just like the sidewalk. As you know, the village is not liable for injuries on the sidewalk or a street unless the there's been an official notice to the clerk in writing of the pothole or whatever. So I think they would come under the same situation. So if it's an act of God, so to speak, it's not a problem.
Thank you.
Thank you. Everybody else all set? Can I get a motion to adjourn this meeting at 7:51?
Moved.
Can I get a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. See you in February. Oh, don't forget the big chill, Saturday.